What's up, dudes? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. We have an unboxing that I'm really excited about. Really excited about. And it's a Sunday. It, for some reason, just decided to show up on a Sunday. That usually doesn't happen. So I was really excited to kind of be surprised with this today. And let's open it up. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And my Instagram is duties_daggers. Follow me over there. That way you're all up to date on channel stuff. All right. Oh, baby. Look at that. Look at that. No mystery. Just printed right on the dang package or box. So, it's a cold steel AD15. This is Andrew Demko designed a cold steel, and it's using one of the locking mechanisms that he invented, the scorpion lock. I mean, this dude has invented more locking mechanisms than any other knife maker that I'm aware of. I mean, it's insane. He's got the triad lock, the scorpion lock, and the shark lock. And is there one more? See, triad, scorpion, shark lock. I think that's the three. But dude, that's insane. That's insane. If someone gave me a year to come up with a new locking mechanism for a knife that worked good and was very strong, I would not be able to do it. Absolutely not. So I own this version, I own this knife, but the light version. So there's an AD15 light that is FRN instead of G10 here, and it is AUS8 instead of S35VN. And I really liked it, but I ended up getting rid of it in a trade because I really wanted this one all along. So I'm really stoked I finally have this thing. Oh, it's a beefy boy. Beefy boy. So you might recognize this clip. This is a very typical Demko clip. Let me get out my, here it is. Well, it's the aftermarket, or this is an aftermarket clip, but I forgot about that. The clip that comes with the AD20.5 is very similar to this. Let's open it up. A little stiff right out of the gate. This is, man, there's something about this drop point that I just really like. It's such a good classic drop point, you know? I like the whole profile of this knife. Just very kind of classic knife looking, but it has that Demko flair to it, you know? It's got similar lines to the AD10. Man, it's comfortable too. Holy crap. Really ergonomic. Oh yeah, I couldn't wait to do that, man. So this is not really much of a flicker. You can kind of thumb flick it, give it a little bit of rest, and it will loosen up a bit over time. But it is so satisfying to slow roll this thing out, and then to close it, what I do is I kind of just jam my finger right in here, separating this area in here, pulling back the scorpion lock, and kind of like do that, and then just let it fall shut. It feels almost like a compression lock in a way, you know, because you're using this finger kind of pushing back here and closing the knife. Oh yeah. Awesome. I'm so stoked. And I have a scale coming. OG Goat makes aluminum and titanium scales for this. I went with aluminum because it was cheaper. The titanium, I mean, obviously it's better because it's titanium, but it was over $100, I think. The aluminum was about 65. So that's what I went with. It's going to look really nice. Something I always wanted to do is have one of these and replace this G10. It's, you know, it's really nice and grippy, but it's almost too grippy, especially right here under the pocket clip. This really shredded up my pants when I had the light version. So that will, you know, replacing the scale will solve that. This whole bar right here is aluminum, so that's perfectly good. Man, this is smoother than the light, for sure. So we're looking at S35VN blade steel. Not super thin behind the edge, but not crazy thick either. Probably around 20 thousandths, I would guess, maybe a little over. Um, we have a choke up spot, kind of a similar choke up spot to the 20.5. Very similar, actually. See that? It's really cool. I love this choke up spot because when you choke back, it still gives you this little area to kind of brace up against this way. And then when you kind of go above that, it really doesn't feel like it gets in the way at all. It's just kind of, it's a little shelf for you to sit your pointer finger on. I just really like it. So I'm really glad that this knife has that as well. Very large jimping, which, it is pretty grippy. Not a deep carry pocket clip. So this is the green G10, and this is like it's kind of cool that it's a different shade green on this. I guess you'd call this the lock bar. But basically how it works is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It pivots right back here. It's got pressure pushing it in this way. So you're opening the knife. This bar kind of rubs along the tang here until it reaches this slot. And then it pops in that slot. So as you're gripping the knife, you're actually adding to the strength of the locking mechanism, which is pretty freaking sweet. Now, I watched a torture test of this knife. Actually, it was the light version. I watched a torture test of the light version of the knife, and I forget the name of this YouTuber. I had just found him, but I have never seen a more gnarly torture test. He absolutely destroyed the thing. He was smacking it on rocks. He stabbed it into a stump and wrenched, and he cracked off the blade. It cracked right here at the thumb stud. Now, seeing that doesn't bother me because I'm never going to use the knife like that. But the reason I bring it up is because he was spine whapping this on a stump or a rock or something, and he was getting this to pop. He was getting this to pop out. I don't know. I will try it on this one with not on a rock though, on something softer. I will try it and see what happens. That was the light version. I don't know if this will be any different. But that didn't stop me from ordering this because this is a knife with a locking mechanism where it's really strongest when you're grabbing it like this, And I mean, he was really having to whack it hard too to get this to fail. So it's not like, the infamous raccoon where it's just bam and it fails. He was really whacking it. So that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to be whacking my knife like that anyways. And this is a very strong lock. There's no way this blade can close if you're gripping it. There's just absolutely no possible way. It's almost like the EXO before, the original, before it had this locking mechanism. This has to open up this way for the blade to close. So when you're gripping it, it can't do that. There's just no possible way for this to open up this way while you're squeezing. Same thing. There's no way this blade can close unless this comes all the way out to here. So you're gripping the knife, it's never going to close on you. So to me, that's perfectly good. This lock has been tested to be very, very strong. So, yeah, I'm stoked. This is a really, really sweet knife. And now I have all three of his different locking mechanisms. I have a Recon 1 with the triad lock right here. So these are the three locking mechanisms that Andrew Demko has invented. And I think I'm going to do a video on all these, kind of going into more detail on them. But isn't that crazy, man, that he just invented these locking mechanisms? I mean, the triad lock is considered to be the strongest lock. He invented that shit. And, the shark lock, supposedly very, very strong as well. Scorpion lock, super duper strong also. So he has a knack for designing these things. And I'm really stoked to have the Scorpion lock now. it's completely ambidextrous locking mechanism too. I'm not very good at it left-handed, but it's the same both ways. And there's a couple ways you can kind of do this. I've seen some people do it with their thumb, kind of push their thumb in here, close it that way. Easiest for me was using my pointer finger, kind of shoving it in there. You can kind of like almost put your finger here and pull back this way, like that. But the easiest I found is just kind of like just push your finger inside there and it opens up. You can almost even do this too. Pull this back and flick it out that way. Once you get good at it. I've had practice since I had the other version already. Just so cool, man. It really is very smooth, I think this feels smoother than the light version. Absolutely zero blade play any direction. Just unbelievably rock solid. Really cool, man. So you can see this whole piece, even this part of the backspacer, is moving. Yeah. So Demko actually does custom versions of the AD15. He has Demko AD15s. And gosh, they are beautiful and they're very expensive. It's the same knife, but this whole lock bar is titanium. Different blade material. It's a Demko. It's not a cold steel. It's a Demko custom. They're just beautiful, man. I've seen them with micarta and titanium lock bars. They're so cool, man. One of these days I would love a Demko custom, whether it be an 8020, a version of an 8020 or 8015 or even an 8010. I would like an 8010 eventually too. That's kind of his other larger cold steel knife. Pretty popular. Really cool knife. So anyways, that's about it. Oh, one more thing to note. There's actually little external stop pins right here, but it's for the closed position. It's kind of interesting. Usually if you have external stop pins, it's to stop the blade in the open position. But since we have this locking mechanism that stops it, we need something to stop it from kind of hitting the inside of the handle, overextending this way. So you can see these external stops hit right in there. See? Isn't that cool? So it's kind of like the reverse of a hinderer or a ZT0562 or anything with external stop pins. They're hitting on the open here. They hit on the close. Pretty freaking genius, right? I mean, he's got to be one of the more inventive knife makers. I guess that's would be the right word. Man, he makes such good things. Good things. Good, strong, awesome, very he's just smart, man. He's just goddamn smart, man. So that's about it. I'm gonna carry this thing and use it absolutely, and I'll do a full review on it. It's gonna be kind of like a tough work knife, almost like my Shaman has been for me recently. It's a real nice, big, tough work knife, and this is gonna fill that same role, and just a really cool thing to have. You can get the light version for cheap. I think like $80 right now. This was actually on sale on Amazon for $150. They're usually $180, so that was the reason I decided to get this. My knife fund is very low right now, but I've had my eye on this for so long, and when I saw it was at a little bit of a discount, I just had to go for it. But they actually have, and they also have, get this, they have the AD10 for $100 right now on Amazon. If you, well, I'll put it down below, but if I forget or whatever, just go to Amazon, type in Cold Steel AD15. You'll see a listing that says Cold Steel AD15 and AD10. Click on that and you'll see the deal. you'll see the AD10 for $100, and you'll see this one for 150. And there's one other version. I think it's a blacked out one as well. So yeah, anyone that's been looking for an AD10 for a good price, that's it, man. $100. So very cool. Edge is very, very sharp. I'm going to do a cut test video with this coming this week. Can't wait to do that. We might get a little bit more aggressive than usual on that one. Maybe cutting some wood, chopping some wood, whatever. Maybe a little bit of batoning or something. And thanks for watching, dudes. I love you. Please like the video before you head out. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.